All right, everybody. Kieran Robertson from Jeff Tate's Operation Mindcrime. How you doing, Kieran?
How you doing, man? Good to talk to you.
Good to talk to you. You're in Romania right now?
I am, man. The US have made it very difficult to get visas, so I'm over here getting my visa and then off to Mexico and then into the US. So just lapping up the sunshine, man.
So we really realized here. I confirmed with you earlier because Jack Bates from the Pumpkins, who does our shot of Jack section of our show, said that he has to go to Mexico possibly for 2 weeks. So you might have to go to Mexico for 2 weeks to get in for the shows.
Yeah, man, they've made this new rule in the US where it's like you can't come into the country if you've been in the UK for 2 weeks prior. So like you have to be somewhere else before you get into the US. But Mexico doesn't do visa appointments right now, so I got to go here for 2 weeks, then Mexico for two. It's just like it's insane, man. It's a nightmare.
Wow, man. Did you grew up in Romania? Is that where you grew up?
No, man, I'm from Glasgow, Scotland. So
Okay.
so I grew up in Scotland. This is actually I've been all around the world, but this is my first time in Romania. So I've got my visa appointment tomorrow, and then I'm gonna, because I've got another week here, I'm gonna go try and go to Transylvania, see Dracula's castle,
Oh, that's cool.
and just try and make the most of it,
Yeah. That's cool. And now Scotland, who was one of the Dio guitar players from Scotland? I feel like someone's from Scotland and that got in Dio. Was it Rowan or Vivian?
They might have been. I actually don't know that, to be honest, but they might have been. Scotland's weird, man. There's not too many, big bands. It's just so hard to break out of Scotland, because it's so small. So there's been a couple of people, but not Andy that I know of. You might be right though.
Yeah. Well, I think that thing when there's not a lot going on, you incubate in your room a lot more with your guitar because you don't have as much shit to do. Like if you were in LA, you got a lot more shit to do and you might be out a lot more.
Exactly, man. Like, I can't just go down to the Rainbow. All Scotland's got is fighting and drinking, and so I just get good at guitar.
It is. I came from Jersey, so it's not Scotland, but it was very incubating. Like not a lot to do, a lot of woods. What did you think the first time you went to the Rainbow, dude? Because I felt like I dropped in outer fucking space, man. It was the greatest.
Dude, man. I was in the Rainbow like 4 weeks ago. I was in LA. Like every single time I'm in LA, I go to the Rainbow. Like, because I grew up loving like Mötley Crüe and so I'm walking down the Sunset Strip, like, dude, fucking Nicky Six walked down here, every time I love the Rainbow. It's like, it's heaven to me. If there is a heaven, it's the Rainbow, man.
I feel the same way. I feel it's the greatest. I always say it's the greatest place on earth. Like you can sit and look at a guy that looks like Marilyn Manson sitting next to Marilyn Manson in the Rainbow. It's
exactly.
It's just then there's a guy with like a fucking spike on his head, like a road warrior, and it's just normal there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. Nobody bothers you. Like, it's cool because like when I go out normally with like tattoos and the makeup and stuff, people look at me. But the Rainbow, I'm like, oh, nobody knows that. Like, I can just sit and nobody bothers me. It's great. It's my favorite place in the world.
It really. Oh, I love that you say that. Did you grow up on the Crüe at all? Did you when you were growing up? Did you like Mötley?
Dude, man, yeah, I love Mötley Crüe. Like, I grew up in like 80s hair metal, so I love Mötley Crüe. I was super into fucking, yeah, I even love the album they did with John Corabi. I was just as a kid from Scotland, like being able to be like, telling people I'm gonna play the whiskey and I'm gonna go to the Rainbow. Everybody's just like, yeah, man, no chance. But to be able to do that, that's like, I always said my bucket list, the one thing I wanted to do was sell out the whiskey. And I've done that a couple of times now with Geoff, and it's just like it's all I ever wanted as a kid,
That's awesome, man. Yeah, you dream about that. You read and dream about those places. It's funny that Corabi record, in hindsight, was really good at the time. It was a shocker and seemed confused, but in hindsight, it's a masterpiece.
Dude, totally. If Mötley Crüe put that record out under a different name, like if they did a different band, it's a masterpiece. Hooligan's Holiday, Till Death Do Us Part, great songs. But just if it wasn't, it's just not Vince Neil, man. It's not Crüe. But I love that album, man. I love anything Mick Mars plays on, man. I'm a fan.
I was recording down the hall at A&M at the time they were making that, and I remember hearing them talk. They were basing it around their biggest strength, which was Tommy's drums. And it really is. It's really based around the drums. When you hear some of those drums are just insane.
Yeah, man. I think Tommy Lee, because if they focus on his showmanship and the whole party Mötley Crüe thing. Tommy Lee's a great drummer, man. Like simple on the beat, just incredible rock and roll drummer.
Yeah, man. So let's talk about you. What'd you grow up playing to? I mean, dude, you like Zach, like these guys who are very accelerated, very fast. Because I saw it was Zach in New Jersey. You took a very you had to put a lot of time in very quickly to get as good as you are and reach the heights you have this fast.
Yeah, man. I've not done anything else. Like I left school when I was really young, and since I've been about 9 years old, man, I've just been obsessed with guitar. And I remember seeing that my dad's and my mom were into music, so my dad would take me to see like Kiss and Iron Maiden, and that was a dream, man. I wanted to be Paul Stanley, and I've just always played guitar, and I didn't have many friends growing up, so I just dug straight into that and get I'm not good at anything else, but I got pretty good at guitar, so it seemed to work for me, man.
Those bands that you're talking about, like Kiss and Crüe, was almost like as you get older, like you're a little kid. I always say you're looking at the candy aisle and it excites you. That becomes the adult version of the candy aisle, where like if you have ADD, your senses just go off. Like, this is fucking cool, man. You know what I mean?
Dude, it's mad, man. I remember seeing Iron Maiden. I must have been about 10 years old, and Steve Harris and basically pointed at me in the crowd. And I was like, that's it, man. That's what I'm doing. I'm the rock star. I'm going to be in a band. It's just like, they're superheroes, man. Like, they are superheroes.
Yeah. And what's cool is like you playing with Jeff Tate, I feel like when you might understand the concept, not that he doesn't understand the concept, when people are fans of a band and join a band like John Frusciante, like Zach, like you know the concept of the band you're joining maybe better than people that might have forgotten about not that Jeff has, but you know what I mean? It's great that you're not just a hired gun. You get the concept of what's going on.
Totally, man. I mean, I loved Operation Mindcrime. I was a big Queensrÿche fan beforehand. I hadn't dived into too much of the earlier stuff, and but I was, Mindcrime for me in school. I would listen to Mindcrime and even Rage for Order. So it's cool to actually the way I look at me being in Jeff's band is I do it from a fan perspective of like, I know I'm not Chris DeGarmo and I'm never going to be Chris DeGarmo, but I just want to be, if I was seeing Jeff, what would I want to see playing, so I just want to keep the solos, the way they were written, and there's nothing worse than a new member joins and they change the solos, it's like you want to see that band.
I think that's why the Chili Peppers always need John back, because he understands the concept and grounds them more than they can.
Exactly, man. Yeah.
And I was thinking of you joining. It's funny. I just saw this is the Bucks win the championship here. I watched Giannis have to hug his idol KD and beat him a few rounds before, and I'm like, that must be strange. It's almost like the sports thing where like you're almost playing against your idols, but you got to get in the ring, man. It's a crazy one. Like, these are your peers, because they're a hero one day, and now they're still your heroes, but they're your peers now. That's crazy.
Totally, man. I mean, like if I was a boxer, I'd want to fight Mike Tyson. It's like you want to be the guy, the next in line. It's like, yeah.
It's you joined a religion. Like, it's like directing a Star Wars when you join Jeff Tate's band. You're not like joining like, I don't know, just there's a lot of great bands like LA Guns and stuff, and they're cool, but you're not joining a religion. You joined a religion because even as a kid, there's so much myth around Jeff Tate that it's like a Star Wars movie. Like, people are just gonna come at you. So was that crazy to join something, religion?
Dude, it's mad, man. Like Jeff's like one of my best friends. He's the nicest guy in the world. But before I joined the band, you Google it and you see all the stuff online, and I'm like, is he going to be like a vampire? Is he going to be like a castle? And you know what I mean? Like, but dude, he's the nicest guy, just down to earth and lovely. But that's it, man. It's like Jeff is the best definition of a rock star because he's got that myth and all that, ambiguity, whatever the word is, mystique behind him. It's just like, but I think that's so clever that they've managed to keep that going, because Queensrÿche's there's not a lot of information out there about them. It's sort of hidden.
You're right. Yeah. Like we still talk about, the myth of the way old bands like Zeppelin had that myth. It's crazy. You know what I mean?
Totally, man. And you want your rock stars to be rock stars, man. Like, you want Robert Plant to be like singing with the dove on him, and it's like, they're just so rock. You know, rock stars are a different breed, man. The fact that they managed to keep that going, and I just want to follow the legacy as best as I can, and do my job for the fans. You know.
Yeah, but you're not just a side guy. You could see in this, like, the way with Ozzy and Randy, like that's a team, a younger guy with a slightly older guy. Like, you guys have that vibe. I was watching some videos, and there's that kind of, there's a chemistry where you guys have that thing, that duo. It's really cool, man.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. That means a lot, man. Like I mean, I've been with Geoff like close to 5 years now, and I always, when I joined the band, I just always wanted to be the right hand man. I always just want to be the dude, So the fact that I now get to write with Geoff, and I live with Geoff most of the time, and it's so cool to have somebody that, he goes, hey, I've got this song idea, and I'm like, well, I'll do the guitars, and then I go, I got this song idea, and I've got like Jeff Tate to sing my song. It's just like, it's incredible, man. It's living the dream.
Yeah, and I mean, dude, when you're sitting there and he's singing "Take Hold of the Flame" and he hits that note, you're just like, what the? Do you ever just go, what the fuck? How did this happen from Scotland? And here I am. Do you ever just go, what the fuck?
Every day, man. Every day. Or like when I'm like on the tour bus and I go out to make my coffee in the morning, and Geoff comes out in his underwear. You know what I mean? Like, it's now it's like it's Geoff to me, but I'm still like, fuck, man. That's Jeff Tate, man. This dude wrote Queen of the Reich. It's like, it's just incredible. I'm just really honored to be such a part of this incredible legacy.
And it's not just that you played Till Death Do Us Part with his daughter. It was originally I love that you have a thread. You have a lot of music going on, but not too much where you're watered down. I love it. I feel like there's a thread through everything you do.
Yeah, man. I'm very much about, I don't want to sort of run myself too thin. So I do projects I believe in, and I'm sort of full time in Geoff's band because there's so much work behind the scenes, and I'm pretty involved in that. And we tour, like Geoff normally tours 9 months out of a year. So time wise, I don't have much time to do anything else. But I'm more than happy being that guy playing for Geoff.
Yeah. And what's up with Till Death Do Us Part? Are you putting new music out? I really liked it.
Oh, thank you, man. We're not. Emily does her own thing now. I don't know what's going on with that. I think she has her own thing sorted. But we had that one album out. I wrote a second album for Emily that will probably come out under Emily Tate. So I don't really know what's going to happen with that. But
okay.
But yeah, man, that's the sort. I'm not part of that anymore.
Okay. It was cool but it's just so much music, man, and it's amazing. And I was reading somewhere, dude, how great was Mechanical Animals? I love, I felt like that's my favorite Manson album. That's almost the only album that I go to, and it was such an epic album. And I guess that ties to Geoff having epic things, but you like that one, right?
Dude, man, I don't even know if you're allowed to say that anymore, man. But I love Manson's work, and as a musician, I thought John 5, his guitar and everything, Mechanical Animals was really sort of Bowie-esque as well. I think a lot. Same with Queensrÿche, like it's like some of their albums are just, each album stands up alone. It's like you don't skip songs, you just listen to the whole album. It's a vibe, it's a masterpiece, But yeah, man, I love Mechanical Animals.
It was such an epic, and I guess everything about you and your playing, and I guess hearing that is epic. You have maybe it's from being a kid and seeing Maiden, who are another epic metal band. I guess you'd almost be into epic metal. I mean, we love Crüe, but that's not epic metal. Shout at the Devil might be epic metal. Shout at the Devil
man.
Was pretty
Thank
epic.
you, man. Yeah, I love guitar solos you can sing. Like there's nothing worse seeing a guitar player and it's just all shred. It's like you want a guitar solo that's like a vocal melody. You can sing it, it's recognizable. And Slash as well, man. Guys like that, well, it's just like the November Rain solo is just, it's like a song in itself,
Yeah. Well, I think the thing is with Slash, and I'm sure you too, there's some living behind the soul. I think you got to live a little bit, put a little miles on your soul. I see a lot of guys that play and there's just not the miles on their soul. You're not writing a song. I think there's some living obviously behind Slash's playing and yours.
Yeah, man. You got to have some trauma to write some good guitar solos.
Yeah. It's got, there's something I see when I just know. It's like, I call it playing like a man, and you play like a man, where it's just like, there's something. It's just, I mean, Zach at 17, 18 was playing like a man. I know he had been through some family stuff, lost his dad early. Like, you go, that there's something that those notes somewhere they come from that beyond just the technical ability. You know, I mean, it's just a place.
100%, man. Even like guys like Angus Young and stuff, it's like, you know, when there's a solo and it's 12 bars, he can hit 1,000 notes in those 12 bars, but sometimes it's cool to just hold that one note and just bring out that the feeling and the emotion. And, you know, at the end of the day, it's about the song. You know, it's not about the guitar playing. It's like what sounds best in the song.
Yeah. And one guy that I think gets overlooked is CC. I think CC was those Poison songs. He that first all the albums, but he puts it through the roof. CC, we talk about solos that sing, and he's fucking great, man.
Dude, love Poison as well, man. We did a gig a couple of years ago with Brett Michaels at Loudon Lima Festival, and our tour manager had told Brett, you know, Kieran, our guitar player, is a huge fan, and he was so lovely. He brought me on stage to sing Rock and Roll All Night with him, and you know, it was awesome, man. It's like, that's fucking Brett Michaels, you know, he's just a legend, man.
Man, and who was your guitar heroes in high school? Who were you really practicing to? Who were you practicing?
I loved the Elegant. I loved Slash. I love Mick. I think Mick Mars is one of the most underrated guitar players of all time, because it's Mötley Crüe's one guitar player, but he sounds like, you know, 3 guitar players.
He does.
I love that. I even love, like, you know, Ace Frehley and Kiss, and just I like simple guitar players. I'm never gonna be a shredder. But then when I joined Queen, you know, when I joined Jeff Tate band as well, it's like Chris DeGarmo solos, and, you know, but growing up, it was really Slash and Ace Frehley and Mick Mars that sort of made me want to, you know, get good at guitar.
That's a really good duo. Yeah, and those are, we talk about guys with some miles on them. Those are guys with some miles on their souls. Dude, I think that fucking Theater of Pain gets a bad rap. It's my favorite Crüe album right now.
It's great, man. It's like every Mötley Crüe album, I love, you know, Generation Swine, every Mötley Crüe album, I just don't think they've a bad album. You know, maybe I'm just stuck in the mystique of Mötley Crüe, you know, like when The Dirt came out, the movie, I know that got a lot of flack, people, but I love that, man.
Me too.
I just love
me
everything
too.
to do with Mötley Crüe.
It's the spirit when you love it. I mean, our show, we have Nikki Sixx and Moats. There's just something about that. But what I liked about Theater of Pain, it was the first time they were singing about guys like you and I that weren't living in Hollywood. You know, Raise Your Hands to Rock, 16,
man.
dealing with these summer. I felt like they were finally singing to me, you know, I mean, being somewhere else. It was really cool.
Exactly. Like, we all want to be Nikki Sixx, but not everybody can be Nikki Sixx, you know? So it's good to hear songs about normal people.
Yeah. Just such a great band. Hey, what guitar do you play? What's the kind of guitar you play? I was watching a few things, and I don't know if you still play it, but I was trying to get my head around that.
Yeah, man, I'm really lucky. I'm endorsed by a company called Famous, which is it's Warwick basses. They have this guitar company called Famous, and they've been really good. I have my own signature one, the KR Custom, that they've made, which is like a beautiful sort of white Les Paul looking one. And I just recently, for this tour, picked up Will Hoffman from Accept.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, he's with Famous, so I've got a nice, beautiful white flying V. So I'm a big Schenker fan as well, so I get a white flying V to do him. But Famous are the guitars I play, man. They're incredible. I've played so many guitars, and they're just down and dirty rock and roll, well built guitars.
Yeah, I saw you. I didn't know. You know, sometimes guys switch. I'm glad you stuck with it, but it looked cool. I watched a few videos. It's got to be cool having your own guitar, man.
It's sick, man, and it's cool because I got when I first went to meet with Famous, they go, you know, what do you want? I think white guitars just stand up on stage. So I went, you know, I want something like a Les Paul, but kind of lighter, and they built this. It's called a Panthera 2, and it's just the perfect guitar. It's got my face and the inlays and my signature all up and down the neck. It's just, and the pickups sound incredible. I'm endorsed by a company called Planet Tone Pickups, and they've built me some custom. You know, it's going to sound like a 59 Les Paul as well. Like I just get the dream guitar set up just now, man. I'm so happy with it.
Yeah, so you said your guitar is white. I love that. Love the white.
Yeah, man. It just stands out on stage, and when the light hits it, it's just sick, man.
I love Dave Root from Tesla. Got to do his V, and my buddy Dave did the white V, almost like the Petty V with just a little red pick guard. And it does. You see it from the back of the arena, man. It's crazy.
just stands out, man. Somebody said to me once, somebody's like, if you want to be a rock star, you got to have a silhouette. Like, Slash has got that top hat, and Nikki Sixx has got like the Thunderbird. And I was like, I just think white guitar, and because I'm quite colourful with tattoos and shit. I just think it goes well together, man.
Yeah. And what I like is, I was talking with Jeff, is like, I like that it's a newer guitar, because we all love when Slash came out, everybody started playing older guitars. But like, if Hendrix was alive now, he wouldn't be reaching for a 69 Strat. He reached for a 69 Strat because it was 69. He would want the newest, fucking most fucked up synth guitar, in the world. Man. You know what I mean?
Dude, 100%, man. I'm all about new technology and, still keeping the, the heritage of like, I wanted to be a rock and roll guitar, but like what trips people out, man, is we don't even use amps on stage. Like, my guitar amp is my laptop. So it's like I use like THU. It's a Slate plugin, and it means it's like I can just bring my laptop, and that's my whole guitar amp. So guys are like, you don't want the Marshall stack, and I'm like, man, I don't want my guitar tech having to carry that in, every day, have to change valves, and it's just easier, man. Things are moving forward,
They really are. I mean, I have friends that record through the Helix, and I think it's just insane where it's gone. That's wild, man. Oh, I fucking love it. God, so no amps on, and you don't bring any amp, just the laptop.
Dude, it's mad. Our whole setup on stage, we don't even have real drums anymore. We play with a Roland TD50. We have an electric drum kit, so which we've sampled the original snare sound on like Empire, so it sounds incredible live. My other guitarist, Alex, he is a Moore pedal. I have a bass player, Jack. He is a dark glass pedal. So we have the happiest crew in the world, because they're just loading in pedal boards rather than lugging in Marshall amps. And it's great, man. Sounds the same every night. We're all on in-ears, and I think it's just now it's like, what are you sacrificing, compared to what you're getting?
Yeah. It's about the future. It definitely is. That's where I think some rock dies off. You need to embrace a little bit, put a foot in the future.
Exactly, man. Yeah.
Dude, how many, you must know a gazillion you're doing. So this tour, you're doing Rage for Order and Operation Mindcrime?
No, this tour we're doing Rage for Order and Empire.
Oh, that's right. Empire.
Yeah, man.
That's got to be huge, man. Is that did you have to go back and learn all those songs?
Yeah, man. I mean,
obviously you had to learn them, but
for the first 2 years in the band, I did a tour first where we did an acoustic tour, which was like the greatest hits, and then I toured Mindcrime for 2 years. So I learned that, back to front and get tight on that. But I kind of knew next was going to be Empire and Rage. So I learned that. So as soon as I joined the band, Jeff always says that he wants his band members to be able to, if he goes, okay, I want to do this song, I want to do Queen of the Reich, I want to do Before the Storm. It's like, yeah, no bother, So I've tried to learn as many Queensrÿche songs, as many Jeff songs as possible, so I can just, I'm, what's the word? Non-expendable, so I can do whatever he needs.
I get that, man. Yeah, just who would you want to be the guy running the band? Guys, you got one job: learn a lot of songs. You know what I mean?
Exactly, man. It's like if you join Kiss, you want to know all the Kiss songs. You want to know every song by the band.
But it's a little easier. Kiss is it goes in a row. You know what I mean? And I love Kiss; they're one of my favorite bands. But the songs fall. You have a lot of changes to remember.
Yeah, I mean, the Queensrÿche music is really difficult, and the clever thing about Queensrÿche is, although it's difficult, it's not like Dream Theater where it sounds complicated, but the music's really, there's lots of weird time signatures, and it just takes a lot of listening to the music and, being a fan of the music. I don't think you can play this stuff unless you're actually a fan and the intricacies and where the music's actually going to go,
You're right, because when I was listening the other day to Want to Get Close to You, and the bass, I could just feel it like liquid in my fucking heart. Just, what I mean? It's just, man, and it's very futuristic. It still feels, that music, anything Jeff does feels like the future. I was just listening to that song, even one of his newer ones, Reinventing the Future. It still sounds like the future. Doesn't it always seem like it was going to be written years from now? It's still just so epic and futuristic.
So ahead of the time, man. Like even like Rage for Order, when that came out, they were sampling like car windows and printer sounds and everything, which is just like, you know, Operation Mindcrime, when that came out, that was one of the first digital records, you know, done on like Pro Tools. And the Queensrÿche have always been one of those bands, and Geoff, that's just one step ahead of everybody else. And then when people try and copy that, they go, "Oh, we're going to do something completely different."
Well, they don't write half as good as songs. That's always the thing. Somehow, through all those intricacies, he's able to write this memorable song, which is wild.
Exactly, man. And at the end of the day as well, Geoff's such a lyricist and a poet that, like, you know, everything stands up. Like, it's like the drums are a song on their own, the bass is a song on its own, the guitar, like everything is just its own thing. I mean, you know, the guys in Queensrÿche were just such good songwriters and such good musicians that everything is just, I think it's all masterpieces, man.
Totally. It always reminded me, even as a kid, because I had Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon. You always realize that album still is dealing with issues as they come up. It doesn't feel as slow as Dark Side of the Moon, but there's a Pink Floydness to Jeff Tate, I think, in the music.
Totally, man. And Jeff's a huge Floyd fan. Like, anything that, you know, every time, you know, we're having a couple of drinks, Geoff sticks on Floyd, and it's just a totally, it's like timeless songs. You know, there's a million good 80s rock albums, but, you know, Operation Mindcrime and Empire, they still stand up, man.
Oh God, yes. It's a religion, like you say. Like, I don't mean to say Star Wars, because that's what I think. Maiden, Star Wars, it's very fantasy oriented, whereas it feels fantasy, but the issues in the lyrics are real lyrics and real things to deal with.
Dude, yeah, even now, like when we do Mindcrimes, like every time we do meet and greets and I meet people outside the show, they're all like, "This could be written now. This could be written about what's happening now." It's just so, you know, profound and ahead of the time, man. If I wasn't in the band, I'd be such a huge fan. You know?
Now, can people buy your guitar? Is your model of guitar something people can buy? I'll put some links into the chat and everything.
You can, yeah. It is stupidly expensive, but people can buy the guitar. Yeah, if you go into Famous, you can buy the KR Custom, or you can buy the one I played just now, the Wolf Hoffman Signature. That's a little bit cheaper, but yeah, you can buy them online. I'd love to eventually get like an in-store model that's a bit down in price, but you know, right now I just wanted a guitar that was like, this is going to last me. It's going to be, you know, my main guitar for ages. So I put all the bells and whistles on it. But yeah, man, if anybody wants to jump online and get the guitar,
even just geek out over it. Even geek out over it. You know how it is. Sometimes you don't buy it, but you go look at it and you dream of buying it. Maybe it is the one you bought. You know what I mean?
Exactly, man. Yeah, no, I'd love if somebody, you know, our bass player Jack, he is this guy that comes to one of the shows in the UK. I can't remember where it is, but every time he sees Jack on a tour, he buys his entire rig. So like next week, he's like buys the bass he used, all the pedals he used.
That's awesome.
You know, that's just so cool that we're getting to, you know, our tone. People want to reproduce that.
Yeah, everybody talks about the Operation Mindcrime band. It's great that there's anything that causes a reaction. You know what I mean? You guys are, you know, now it's settled and people have, but at the beginning there's a lot of, you know, punch, you know, between fans, and everybody loves it. I mean, most of my fans, like, you know, this is the team they picked. You know what I mean?
Awesome, man. No, that's cool. And I totally get it, because people get pissed off. They come and it's like, you know, it's not Chris DeGarmo. And I'm like, dude, man, if it's not me, it's going to be some other guy. So I'm just doing it to the best of my ability and trying to make it sound, you know, give the music the respect it deserves, you know?
Well, what I love about you, it's not like you're going out next week with, you're not going out with fucking LA Guns next week, and then the next week George Lynch, which are all great artists, but I'm saying you're not jumping around to like, this is your fucking band. That's what I really loved when I delved into your thing. It's like, you're into this family, not just you literally are the fam. You know what I mean? It's great, man.
Fuck yeah, man. No, I appreciate that. That's awesome. I just want to be as ingrained into the legacy as I can be, you know, as much as, same thing, man. I love LA Guns. I love Doc, and I love George Lynch. It's like, this is my band, man. This is my loyalty, and this is who I want to play for.
Man, well, thank you so much for stopping by, Kieran, and you have to stop by again and hang out so I can say goodbye to you.
Awesome, man. Thank you, man.